Palestinian Resistance Front, recognizing that they were completely written out of the equation, that they were going to face death no matter what. The Abraham Accords, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, greatly accelerating the demise of Palestinians in the West Bank. That is what caused the Palestinian Resistance Front to design a way out of this situation, to make the Israeli occupation as costly as possible. Wall Street Journal opinion piece talking shit about HasanAbi again. Lol, you made them big mad. Democrats are too cozy with the Hassan Piker. There's no excuse for failing to call the anti-Semitism on the left. I know. We're going to read that later.
To pay for damages after a few years. I think damages are quite extensive. So it wouldn't be able to pay for all the damages in the first year, but eventually it will pay for the damages. So Iran is not going back to the old days of just suffering under sanctions while others benefit from the oil wealth in this part of the world. That's, I think, a decision that has been made. The country's leader mentioned this in the statement that he released the other day.
So Sinwar was the only one of the resistance axis who understood Israel in the West? Yes. Yahya Sinwar, first of all, this is something that the Israelis also readily admit. Yahya Sinwar was in Israeli prison for most of his life, and he learned Hebrew, and he actually translated a lot of Hebrew works into Arabic as well. He developed relationships with a famous Israeli dentist while he was in prison. Anyone who is like remotely competent, whether they're Israeli or not, doesn't matter, will openly say that Yahya Sinwar truly understood Israeli society. Okay? He did. And absolutely, like Hassan Nasrallah is, people say I'm anti-Semitic for this. I say Hassan Nasrallah was a brilliant tactician as well. But Hassan Nasrallah was far more restrained, and I think at the end did not fully comprehend the true evil. Maybe they were a little bit too materialist, as a matter of fact. Hassan Nasrallah, I think, believed that Israel wouldn't go as far as it did because they would not blow up international markets, right? In the way that we're seeing unfold right now. Same with Ali Khamenei. I'm not a believer in the great man theory, but there are, even till his last breath, Hassan Nasrallah probably thought, oh, Israel's not crazy enough to do this. And then he was assassinated. He was martyred, right? As much as I also believe in dialectical and historical materialism, fascism operates on different boundaries, and one must recognize that. Yeah, the legend says that martyr Imad Mughnieh was once asked if Israel were to assassinate Syed Hassan Nasrallah, what would happen? He replied while laughing, they would have assassinated the most rational person among us. The same thing happened with Largiani. Israel assassinated Largiani. Everyone started writing all these reports about how he was one of the more rational, one of the more pragmatic actors. That, like, how could Israel assassinate one of the only people that had the capacity to communicate with the West and had the interest in negotiating with the West, basically destroying another off-ramp for America. Because, evet. So that was the analysis. The guy who replaced him, I looked into his background, is even more of a hardliner. He's pro-nukes. The guy who replaced Largiani is pro-nukes and pro-mandatory hijab. So the IRGC, every time a leader is assassinated, the guy that takes his place is even more of a hardliner. So it's very clear how the IRGC is operating here. Their contingency is going in the opposite direction, not like showing over and over again. Okay? Showing over and over again. You kill us, it doesn't matter. The guy that replaces the person that you kill is going to be even more aggressive in their stance against Western imperialism. That's it. That's why they assassinate them. They want figureheads who can be portrayed as backwards barbarians. Yeah, brother, but it's pretty obvious that Iran has a talent pool that is very fucking deep as far as like people who are not backwards barbarians at all. These are very well-read people. Also, it doesn't even fucking matter because no matter how sophisticated your weaponry is, no matter how expensive your munitions are, it's very clear that Iran is capable of engaging in asymmetrical warfare and making America and the rest of the global markets hurt. Yeah. Iran will drown the West with an infinite human wave of Kantian scholars and tenured Quranic economists. When you look at Chinese PhDs, a lot of them are like STEM lords, whatever, right? But then they also have like a doctorate in Marxist-Leninism. And in Iran, it's really funny. If you look at their background, it's always like, Kantian scholars that have a doctoral thesis on like Quranic scripture in the Western world. Analysts suggest Iran may have a strategic reserve as many as 500 million bureaucrats and public officials with widely cited PhD theses. Iran has the capability to produce more analytical papers on German idealism than our academic system is capable of rejecting and risks exhausting the editors of every major academic journal within 2 to 3 weeks. Every single guy that is in the Iranian government right now is in their like 60s, or if they get killed, then they're going to be in their 50s. Every single one of them has fought in the Iran-Iraq war at the age of like 15. Okay. If you want to understand their background, it's always dudes who fought in the Iran-Iraq war at the age of like 15 and then got like 8 PhDs. Every single one of these motherfuckers. They have combat experience, and they are also highly educated. So, the assassinations don't matter too much. What is this? Didn't they shoot like 7,000 to 35,000? No, they didn't shoot 35,000. Civilian protesters, how are they liberal at all? They're not. Liberalism is done. We're not talking about the boundaries of liberalism anyway. Look at what liberalism has brought. Genocide, maximum genocide in fucking Gaza. A live-streamed Holocaust. That's what liberalism brought you. Liberalism is over. Okay? It's done. Wake up. Stop associating liberalism with a force of good, okay? It's crazy. States are invested in sovereignty and self-preservation. The American liberal state is invested in maximum domination of the global south at the behest of capital. It only took 100 years, but liberalism is dead once again. Okay? 100 years ago, when liberalism was being developed, it fell apart. What came was a wave of social democracies, fascism, and communism. And then America went to war with communism. Cold War happened. Cold War ended. Accelerated liberal capitalism for like since the 90s, for the last 3 decades, 4 decades. And now liberalism is failing once again. It's over. It's dying again. Even Fukuyama Mr. End of History has openly admitted two key principles were wrong. Okay? The end of history was wrong. That history has not ended. That liberalism is not going to thrive. And two, that nation states that demand sovereignty must develop nukes. Those are two key things that I have been a believer of for at least the past decade. You got the number one dick rider of liberalism openly recognizing that both of those principal theories were completely fucking wrong. That they were abject failures. So if the top scholars are recognizing that, it's over, their most significant contributions to academia were wrong, you can keep holding on to the crumbs here and try to defend it, but it's done. It's over. Thought you changed your mind on nukes? I did, which is why I'm saying for the last decade, my mind has changed on nukes. According to statements by Israeli and American military officials, 320% of Iran's missile launches have been destroyed so far. They're also shitposting on American websites, which is even funnier. However, Iran continues to launch missiles at a high rate. Now the enemy aims to destroy up to 500% of them, a unique achievement for the U.S. military. Speaker of Iran's parliament mocks U.S. claims about the destruction of the missile launch capability. So what do you do? What do you do? If the world is changed, you have to change with it. If you don't, you die. It's that simple. America thinks it can still operate on yesterday's boundaries. America thinks, and this same thing goes for Zionists as well. Zionists in America still operate with like 2003 narratives, right? They still think they can just say like, oh, don't you dare defy Israel's demands. What are you, anti-Semitic? And everyone looks at them and goes, I wasn't before you said this, but now I might be, right? And it's precisely the same dynamic at play here. America thinks might is right. Politics favors them. Yeah, this was Yahya Sinwar in a 2018 interview. Criticizing the international community, Sinwar said Gaza only ever received attention when there's violence and blood, but the problem is not the resistance, but rather the occupation. Did you see the video where the soldier shoots at us and keeps laughing, he asked? Once they, the Jewish people, used to be like Freud, Einstein, Kafka. They were famous for their mathematics and philosophy. Today, only for the drones. What a shame. Did you see Zoran's wife's base post? I did. And I already defended. Pod Bros radicalization has been interesting to watch. Yeah. In this op-ed, Third Way actually argues that Epstein class is an age-old trope pushed by Jew haters on the left. Yeah, they're mad. This is Third Way Jim Kessler. We're all for a big tent, but the Democratic Party needs to draw a line in the sand. Hassan Piker and his fellow Jew haters belong on the other side. Brother, you got no motion. Who the fuck cares about Third Way, dude? Third Way has no real base. Never really had a base in the party anyway. But they just keep. They said HasanAbi said tax the Jews. Wait, ain't no fucking way they said that. Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs recommended barring Mamdani's wife, Rama Dawaji, from entering Israel, citing her social media activity. Dawaji has not expressed any plans to visit Israel. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, no. Oh, no. She can't visit the apartheid state that's doing a genocide, that's getting peppered with fucking peppered with cluster munitions right now. Oh no. She only lives in one of the best cities on the fucking planet. Oh no. I'm sure that will be devastating. Leave it the third way to call on Democrats to drop something very popular with voters, calling out Epstein's enablers, and to instead do something very unpopular, defending unconditional taxpayer dollars for Israeli war crimes. And they say progressives give Dems bad advice. Did you see China also hitting that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? Update. China says peaceful reunification will solve Taiwan's energy crisis amid Iran war. I told you. I told you this too. What did I say? Day one, frame one. What did I fucking say? What did I fucking say? I said this will also cause Taiwan to reconsider its allegiance with China. Taiwan doesn't have gas. Taiwan needs gas. Taiwan doesn't have natural gas. Taiwan needs natural gas for its chip manufacturing. What did I tell you? Taiwan doesn't have oil. China has oil. What did I tell you? Piker Broadcasting Service for tomorrow's news today. Okay? Piker Broadcasting Service. This is why y'all fucking pay me the big bucks. Okay? This is it. And also, it's so funny. U.S. intelligence believes China prefers taking control of Taiwan without force. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's again, another thing that I've been saying for years and years. Oh my God. Shocking. What? You mean to tell me the official state position on Taiwan, peaceful reunification, is, it turns out, the actual Chinese play? What? What? Because of you, I changed a guy's mind about this yesterday at the DSA. What? No way. So you mean to tell me when the Chinese government openly says that for years and years, as its long-standing policy, that turns out that was the case? Turns out that was the truth? Chad Weihua in the replies. Why are you saying China taking over Taiwan is peaceful? Oh my God. Amerifats. Amerifats. Wake up. Wake up, Amerifats. I beg you. Wake up to the realities. Wake up to the fucking realities, Amerifats. Wake up now. Not tomorrow. Wake up now, okay? Wake up. The burger heads are confused. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's just we cause all this chaos around the world, and then like our foreign military base is slammed to the ass cheeks of China is going to have different considerations about reunifying with China, a much more stable partner, as we are like America's unnecessarily waging war. All the while, you still have liberals with their hardliner positions on advancing American imperialism when America's allies all around the world are seeing the reality for what it is. You can fucking complain all day, every day. You can complain, you can cry, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay? But the toothpaste is out of the motherfucking tube, baby. Is out of the tube. Is this a GIF link? Okay. All right, we'll read this. We'll read this in a second. However, today, Taiwan rejects China's energy security offer. Yeah, they're stupid. Don't fucking